So Samsung is out again with yet another 4G LTE smartphone for the budget segment. This is the Samsung Galaxy On7. Let's have a look. Hi everyone, it's Abhinav from PhoneBunch and well, this is the Samsung Galaxy On7. Now it comes with a 5.5-inch 720p display, you have 13 and 5 megapixel cameras, 3000 mAh battery, and yes, it is a 4G LTE dual SIM cable device. It runs on the Snapdragon 410 quad-core processor with 1.5 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of storage. More on that later, let's have a look at what we get inside the box. So apart from the phone in gold color, you have a quick start guide, go through it if you want to. Next up, you have a micro USB to USB data syncing and charging cable, a 1 amp USB wall charger, which seems pretty less for a 3000 mAh battery. We'll check that out. And here's the headset that you get in the box as well, and the 3000 mAh battery. Coming to the phone itself, we have got the gold color. It actually doesn't look as gaudy as I thought it would. Let me just remove these plastic sheets. So folks, here's the phone, 5.5 inches display in front. It's TFT, not AMOLED, and you have a faux leather-like finish at the back. Now let's talk about the build. On the right, you have the power button. It is quite sturdy. At the top, there's nothing. The sides of the 4-metal trim are rounded. You have the volume rocker on the left. At the bottom, primary microphone, micro USB port, and the audio jack. Now I actually prefer this design over the Galaxy J7. You do have a 13 megapixel camera here as well, LED flash. The back cover is a bit flimsy, but when on the phone, it's absolutely solid. Now coming to the inside, so you have two micro SIM card slots and a micro SD card slot to expand storage. All three are separate slots. The phone itself is quite sturdy, as I said earlier. It actually feels far better to hold in hand. It feels more premium as well. Coming to the front, you have a 5 megapixel camera, you have a proximity sensor, there is no ambient light sensor, and the capacitive buttons again don't light up. But the physical home button has good tactile response. So the 5.5 inches display here is not Super AMOLED, it's not IPS, it's just TFT. So the viewing angles are just about decent and it looks a bit pale as well. It's slightly washed out. You do have an outdoor mode so that the phone has better legibility in sunlight, and you can see that it actually does work. Now you also have a one-handed mode available here, so the keyboards everywhere will be switched to either side so it can be easily operated. You have a 13 megapixel camera on the device, which actually does work out quite fine. It captures images very quickly. I have spent almost an entire day with this device and I can say that the camera is just about alright. I'll be testing the camera out later in our full review. The interface is pretty similar to what we have seen with the J series. The front facing camera here is pretty decent as well. Although I did notice a little bit more noise than what should have been. Now coming to the samples that we took, these did turn out quite alright. The camera does tend to lose focus once in a while, and even after trying to focus in with tap to focus, the images just don't come out right. Color reproduction is also towards the undersaturated side. So again, we'll be testing this camera out later on full in depth, including video samples, so stay tuned for that. But if you get focusing right and the lighting is alright, this camera does perform quite well. Now coming to software, the Samsung Galaxy On7 is running Android 5.1.1 Lollipop. There's almost no bloatware on this device and the experience is really smooth. Battery life was also very decent throughout the usage, and you have several new features which we'll talk about, and you can see right there Android 5.1.1 right out of the box on this one. Now out of that 8 gigs of storage, you just have about 4.3 gigs available. Thankfully you can move apps to the external SD card. I'll check whether app data is movable or not. Moreover, USB OTG is also supported and you can see 1080p videos play flawlessly. So coming to RAM management, it is a bit aggressive on the device. You can see that with no apps running, you have about 530 to 600 odd MB free, which is quite alright. Now we have already seen the ultra power saving mode. I haven't tested the ultra data saving mode, so I'll be testing this out in depth and see if this actually makes a difference. Now this is just Opera Max working in the background, so we'll see if it works better here. You also have Download Booster, which uses both your mobile and Wi-Fi networks to download whatever you are faster. So again, that is something very useful here. Mix Radio also comes pre-installed and you have access to over 30 million tracks. That too for free, yes, on your Samsung Galaxy device. The speakerphone here is actually quite loud. It was louder than the Galaxy J7, but again, just wait for a full review for more. Now coming to performance, web browsing was very smooth, pinch to zoom also worked out great, apps did open up quite quickly on the device, and I never actually noticed any lag whatsoever. Now as I said, memory management is a bit aggressive, you can see that Chrome reloaded there. Well folks, that brings us to the end of this overview. So the Galaxy On7 is a very decent device, priced at ₹10,990. It competes with the likes of the Moto G3 to an extent and Samsung's own Galaxy J5, which comes with an AMOLED display. There are some good things about this device: dual SIM capability, expandable storage, 13 megapixel rear camera, a large display and a large battery. So we'll see how this phone stands out. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, let us in the comment section, and as always, have a great day.